Hey guys, welcome back to OverTakes. This is Misfit.
And I'm Kel.
We are talking about the 2020 Overwatch League season, week 3, the homestand in Washington. Everybody out there who's watching us on YouTube, thanks a lot. Anyone who's out in podcast land, thank you very much for listening. And we are going to dive into some stuff. Didn't really have much news this week. It's only been a couple days. We talked about the confirmation of the matches. In case you hadn't heard, the matches from China that were canceled are going to be played in South Korea over the course of a couple of weeks between week 5 and 7. They're not going to interfere with any other matches. So at least we got that rolling.
And I'm imagining they're going to be at like an absurd time, at least for the U.S. But to be expected. I mean, they were going to be that way regardless because they were going to be played in China. So
yeah, you would have been watching them on replay. I mean, there's been no,
unless you're able to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and
catch the last match.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to watch them, at least with YouTube, they'll be loaded up. You can watch them through
as soon as they're done, it'll be ready to go, which is awesome. So that'll be nice. I will definitely be checking out whenever those are, but I'm anticipating within the next, probably around the same time this coming week, that we heard them say that. Either next week, or this coming week, or the next week, I imagine we will get our final times. And like places playing, where these will be, who's playing when, who's playing who, all that.
And if they're actually going to add on to the Seoul, who's playing on that.
If they're going to add on to any of the Seoul homestand, as well as if they're going to have any kind of crowd at these, which I think is going to be the most interesting thing with this whole thing is like, I mean, if they're going to pack it into a studio, I mean,
they're probably going to do it.
It's really weird to not have a crowd.
Yeah,
but it would be basically like the Blizzard Arena last year at points. So,
well, I pulled up Twitter and Shanghai showed where they were and how they were practicing. They basically rented an apartment in Seoul, and they literally have computer desks in the kitchen.
Yeah, I believe that.
Like, I'll throw it up on the screen, actually. It's comical, but it's not. But it's like, do anything at all, and
I mean,
that's all you can do. I mean, like, they had, like, it looked like they went to Target, or, I don't know, they have Target in Seoul. Someplace to buy, like, cheap, shitty chipboard furniture.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, like, you know, like we were talking about, like, the desks with the tower and the top. Like, they went to fucking garage sales and they just, like, loaded all these desks in there. And they're doing what they got to do. They're, you know, at least we got to resolve on that. And the bonus is even if they do add on to the Seoul one, they could put 4 matches on there, honestly. Yeah. Because the times aren't going to overlap.
Right. It's not, there's no real danger of there being any overlap or it going over time. Like, I mean, the numbers are going to be pretty low regardless, just because you're not going to get, especially when it first airs.
Right.
I feel like there's definitely going to be some good turnout from, obviously the Chinese and Korean areas. Like, there's definitely going to be some big viewership from there, but it's not going to be nearly.
Here, it's going to be all VOD.
Yeah. It's going to be all VODs here, for sure.
I mean,
and I'm not sure, because I know it's YouTube here. I believe it's still whatever the Chinese streaming service is. I'm blanking on what the name is.
It's like Billy or something like that.
Something like that.
I think that was one.
I'm not sure. I think in
might be.
I don't think they can even access YouTube in China.
No, they're not allowed.
Yeah, I don't. If they are, it's like a heavily censored one, which it might be. Yeah. If it is, it might be on there. But I believe they do have their own service, their own like deal that they have to work out there. But I believe South Korea does use YouTube.
Yeah, they use YouTube,
and
because all the streamers and stuff throw all their videos up on there.
Right. I imagine that'll be up on there, so they'll get decent viewership from Korea for sure.
I mean, the only other thing we could talk about this some other time. if it gets confirmed. But there was news about, like, on the regular Overwatch front about possibility of animated series on Netflix. It was leaked by the head of the studio. It was like, I think it was Diablo was involved in that too.
Yeah, there's a Overwatch and Diablo series
and a Call of Duty movie. I think
something
they said
like that. Yeah, but I know Overwatch and Diablo are the only ones I care about. I can give a fuck about a Call of Duty movie.
Yeah,
like I don't even play the game. I haven't played since Modern Warfare 2. Like I just cannot bring myself to care, especially with the convoluted story that they've created with those games over the years.
It's part real, part not, part whatever.
I am very excited.
About both.
Yeah, I'm excited about both. There's a lot of really cool things they can do with both of those, both of these series, and I'm super pumped for it.
Yeah, we don't really have confirmation. It's just a lot of speculation on that.
Yeah, I mean, they did say it might come out this year too, which would be dope. And I would not be surprised if that is the case. That way they can build hype for, the 2 games that they're about to release.
Because, I mean, look what it did for The Witcher.
Exactly. And I think it was your Overwatch. Your Overwatch made a point about that where he's just like, player or increase the player base or whatever.
Now than they did when it came out. Exactly.
They have more people playing The Witcher now than when it came out. I think Castlevania had a big bump with that too. There's a lot of really cool things they can do with that. And I would be shocked if it's probably something within a month or 2 of the release of each game. I would imagine the Overwatch one will come first, and then the Diablo one will come second, because I don't think Diablo 4 has any shot of coming out this year. Whereas with Overwatch, it has at least some potential to come out before the holiday season.
Yeah, exactly. And Diablo 4, they could use that to build up the hype.
I'll be shocked if that's not the case.
Yeah, and then just meld into that.
Yeah, let's jump into this week.
Yeah, so let's before we dive into, because we do the pick show where we talk about who we actually like and all that. Let's dive into some meta things, and I'm going to preface this, and you're probably on the same page as me about it. All right, so we have these teams that are like all of a sudden starting to do what they always do, and that's talking to you, Houston.
Yeah.
Well, they went outside every box, and did Brig Lucio, which actually we tried it. It kind of works, guys. Not going to lie. That's in quick play, not in the league.
Right.
But they're starting to constrict into this meta. Like, all of a sudden, it was kind of like wide open. It was kind of like last year a little bit. And now it's kind of broken down to control. You're either using double main tank, or you're doing the Diva Rhine. And then some teams are using Brig Anna. Most teams are using Lucio Anna. And then McCree May. These teams that are really going strict and hard on this, it's going to bite them.
Oh, for sure.
Because in 3 weeks, you're going to be fucked. And you're literally fucking yourself. Because the more you play certain heroes, the way they're going to do the bans is the percentages go up. Play what you're good at, for crying out loud. I mean, yeah, I know Rhine Diva does work really well.
It does.
And for a lot of these teams, it's comfortable.
Yeah, there's definitely some things that I don't think are going to go away until the bans come in, simply because they just are so effective. Rhine Diva being one of them. Yeah. Lucio being another, because he just adds so much utility, especially for their level of play. The amount that Lucio brings to everybody. Because, I mean, it's not even just Reinhardt. Having everyone being able to move, 20% faster?
Yeah, well, that's why conceptually Lucio Brig could work.
Yes.
There's a key on the keyboard that really makes that work. It's the W.
And if your tank doesn't use that or uses it poorly,
Your tank is just waiting for Q to start fucking smashing that.
Yeah.
Did he hang out with Bumper this year? Like on the offs? I don't know.
It's gotta be something like that. Like, Jesus.
Could cue the song now. By the way, guys,
if you haven't seen it, please check this out.
Yeah, it's Leg Day did it, actually. Contenders announcer. Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
Tilted faces, Texan faces, wishing for more than Brigida Maces. Tank lines dying, and the tears are sitting on their keyboards. No expression. Cleanse my head, I must forget Havana. Had no Anna. And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The closest we came to a map win was when they were bad. I find it hard to sing this, you'll find it hard to hear. When outlaws get into a rut, it's compounded by pause time. Outlaws waiting for the time they learn some VOD review time. Made to learn the things that every player should. Stick together. When to watch Havana, it's a shit show. Held on first point. Hello, Harsha, tell me what's your feedback? Just you shatter. And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The closest we came to a map win was when they were bad. I'll find it hard to sing this, you'll find it hard to hear. When outlaws get into a rut, it's compounded by pause time. We're pausing your time. Pause time.
So that's the song about the Outlaws, and it's beautiful, and it pretty much sums everything up about them. That's our official song anytime we talk about the Outlaws now. Sorry, guys. I don't know if Ed Nurse gotten a hold of that. I'm sure it's on his playlist. Ed, if you're out there, please confirm that you have downloaded that to every... And you're just, like, annoying Ramses with it or somebody. It has to happen. The meta is... the McCree and the DPS I get.
But even still, when it comes to that team... Why? Why no Linkser?
Yeah.
Why fucking Linkser?
Oh, yeah. We'll get that into that in a little bit. But like that team aside, but the other teams, we've seen all the teams in this. Yeah. So we finally gotten to a point. That was the one beautiful thing about having every team play every weekend. Mm-hmm. Was that, well, we weren't afforded that because of the circumstances in China. We've seen all the teams at this homestand play. Some of them are really good, some of them are bad, and some of them are don't know
unknowns.
Yet. Yeah. And some of the bad ones are even unknown, including the team that the song was about. I'm not giving them a pass, but I have a feeling they're not as bad as that.
Fair.
Was that a pass?
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to give... I'm being charitable. What the fuck is going on?
Right?
Maybe it's because I'm going to preface it with they're playing Boston, so at least they'll feel good about themselves today. But this weekend we have some good games.
We do.
Last weekend we had games that we thought should be good, but now we have kind of a thumbnail of these teams. Well, the first game that's on the slate we knew was going to be good.
Yes.
We're just going to go over the schedule, give a little bit about the team, the teams, and then Saturday we will have our actual picks up with the odds and everything. Please let us know if you guys like that, because we're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, we're really enjoying that.
Other than the fact that I'm literally the worst fucking Sunday morning prognosticator ever. I'm like giving Jimmy the Greek like a run for his money and terrible. Like my 2 bets of the week have been fucking tank jobs. So you can just use that in your favor and go on the other side. There's always that option.
Fair.
But that'll be Saturday. All right, so Saturday, we have 3 matches. All of them are good or compelling, however you want to look at it. The first match is going to be the one of the weekend. We got New York, Philly, 2 teams probably top 5. Still, there's still some things with Philly we don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely questions with Philly. I do think that New York is probably going to win this game, just because they have elevated themselves, and the prime thing is with Philly, I think they've gotten a lot better to the point where they've filled out their roster so they can kind of cover up Sato. Basically, everyone's talking about how good Sato is, and he did play much better than he has in the past, but I still think that he is the weakest part of their team.
Right.
But they've upgraded so much in their other places, and then you're getting your best players able to play their best characters in Carpe and Ivy stepping in to play May because he's a phenomenal May.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. EQO is not. It's really not his moment.
Right. For right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, that should be terrifying for any teams that once they get into the hero bands. What's going to happen when it's just oh, hey, we get to play Genji this week.
Right, yeah, and they put EQO instead of Carpe.
Exactly.
Or however they want to work that.
Whatever things you want to work with that. I mean, there's any number of ways it could go depending on who gets banned and all of that. But,
and Carpe's just terrifying right now.
Yeah, Carpe he's tearing it up.
That fucking Nepal map was they have the stats. We're going to do more with stats once we get all the teams in, just so we get a bigger sample size. So we're going to have like we were saying, oh, you didn't know? We're probably going to do that somewhere down the line. But they have this flooded deadlift. It's basically back from Apex days where Fleta would he got more than half of the team the final blows. By the way, all-time Striker has, I think, 6 of the top 20. So if you thought that Boston team was actually good, they weren't. Striker was a god on Tracer. He just basically annihilated everybody, and everyone else pretended like they did shit.
Yeah.
It was like having a Smurf in bronze.
They did everything that they could to give as much space to Striker, and that was really what it was. Just pull all your resources into keeping Striker alive, and that's it.
But on that Nepal map, he just won the map. I think he had, of the 37 final blows, I think he had 15.
Ridiculous. And
that's not eliminations, that's final blows. And he had the 4 biggest ones at the end of the fucking Sanctum with Widow. Just...
That's insane.
The fuck? I was watching a Sideshow had the companion stream on, and they had McGravy on there, and they were just like him and Packing 10.
Okay.
Who also said, he also kind of slightly didn't want to say it, but kind of said, he kind of said a little, Lucio Brig, that's not bad. So obviously everyone was trying it. But he was like, "Oh, this is not good. The Carpe's on Widow," and then he hit those 3 shots, and McGrady's like, "That dude needs to be drug tested," or something like that. He's
right.
When he just fucking flat flicked, trying to get to the point. That was ridiculous. Oh my god. I watched that like 5 times and I'm like, how? But yeah, I would just be terrified. That's the one thing that Philly's got going for them, is they got things that Carpe can play.
Mm-hmm.
But New York is New York. And I just want to know what they're running DPS-wise, if they're going to go, who are you? And Sabiobi or Nene or, Libro's going to play this week maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's not terrible any way you look at it.
Right. And then on top of that, you have, the ability, just absolute cheat code that is Jonak.
Yeah.
And him getting to play even more fucking Anna. There's a reason that this dude was able to... what did he do? He had 3 accounts that he was top 3 in Korea on Anna.
That's what guys like Twilight, Rouge Hong. Take your pick. Any of those guys on the ladder.
And he's still somehow better than those guys.
Yeah. It's because he's savage.
He really is. The fact that he survived what he did
with the battle
with the Reaper in his face.
Yeah, who was that? Whoever that played that Reaper, man, they just might as well just retire after that. Boston.
I believe that was...
Was it Boston, or was it...
Yeah, I think it was Boston. I believe it was, what's his name?
Color Hex?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was Color Hex.
Or just say, well, I got killed on a 1v1 by Jonak, and there'd be 40 other people going, yeah, me too.
Yeah, right?
That was ridiculous. And he just hovered around that health pack. It was just dumb. But
it's stupid. He's just so freaking good.
I just want to see how this plays out, because now Jonak is in the position of Rouge Hong, where all these guys are playing that looked up to him. So, Alarm is kind of ruthless like him too. And then you got Funny Astro, who's ruthless Lucio.
Yeah. This is gonna be a fun matchup. I'm so looking forward to seeing some of these guys match up with each other and see how this all plays out.
Oh yeah.
I'm leaning towards New York on winning this game pretty heavily.
Because Philly had some flaws. As good as they looked.
As good as Philly is, they have to play flawlessly in order to win, and I just don't think that they're going to be able to do that yet.
Yeah. And they can't pull that bullshit. They got caught a couple of times getting back capped, getting too aggressive, and it's that beeping noise, guys. Do you hear that?
Right. You see that little icon in the center of your screen when there's the little 1,
yeah,
and it's the arrow and it's pointing. That means
shit
somebody's
makes
on
a
the
lot of
point,
noise.
And you're on defense. You should probably go stop that.
But stuff like that New York exploits.
Exactly. Yeah, and that I think is where Philly is going to downfall, because New York is so meticulous with things like that they will absolutely exploit it. Now, don't get me wrong, I think
Carpe will do Carpe things.
Yes, there are going to be moments where Philly's just going to look unreal, unbeatable, but I guarantee you that those moments are going to be followed by New York coming in and something ridiculous happening from them.
Yeah, and New York
just have more potential of doing things like that.
Yeah, and New York just going, okay, yeah, you Carpe'd us, but we're just going to take the rest of the fight.
Exactly.
You can't kill us all because we're all that good. That's the one thing. Washington's not on that level yet. New York is smart enough to know he just went on Widow. Hotba, go get him.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so next we have the third grade slap fight.
The clown fiesta of it is Boston Uprising versus Houston Outlaws.
Now,
battle for the bottom.
Yeah.
Tank Bowl. Overwatch League 2020.
This is Jacksonville versus Miami.
No, this is Bengals versus Bengals versus Dolphins.
Oh, or you could just go with it's the XFL and it's the Battle Hawks versus the
Vipers.
Or what's the Carolina Criminals.
Whatever the LA team is that are like
I don't know.
Whatever the LA team I know is terrible.
The Wildcats.
I think that the Wildcats.
Yet they have no cat on their logo.
I can't help but think of The Simpsons when I hear that name. When Bart was playing football and Homer, the coach, and they're like, "We're the Wildcats. Who are we going to beat? The Wildcats."
Boo, Flanders.
Good, Jim.
Why are you booing Flanders? He's the coach.
I think he's doing a pretty good job. Boo him. All right. Weird tangent, but yeah.
It's a Simpsons tangent, so it's normal.
Yeah.
This is a chance for Houston just to level the ship.
Get out there, get some confidence.
And just go look.
Beat up on a team that is worse than them in just about every way.
Yeah. Just go out there and do your business. Shut everybody up for a minute. No one expects you to do anything on Sunday.
Right.
So,
but just if you lose this game, oh boy, is it just going to be ruthless? And
there's going to be more than one song.
Yeah. It's going to be many more songs to come. Jesus Christ. Oh, God, this is going to be real bad. If Houston loses, they should come out and beat the ever-loving crap out of Boston.
At least beat them 3-1.
Yes.
Beat them 3-1. Then you can say, you know what, last week we were sick, we were trying things, it was week 1, we're still trying to work on chemistry, and here we are.
And they can reset.
Yeah.
And
we're going to do our best against New York, and whatever.
And then on the opposite side, this is Boston's probably best chance to get a win this season.
Yeah.
You've got a reeling Houston Outlaws team, and that's really your best hope.
Yeah. Until they play London.
Yeah.
As far as I can see.
I don't think that's not happening for quite a while.
That might not happen until their homestand. Somewhere in there. That's down the line, though.
It's way down the line. I'm all the way to week 9, and I still don't see a game that they can win.
Yeah. Also, I want to see from Houston. And
maybe against you guys. They actually play Houston again before they play London.
Yeah. They don't have a chance against us.
Chance is maybe against you guys, but even then, I still wouldn't
Boston has no chance against us.
Because I think you guys just have more talent.
Yeah. And just Gangnam Jin, Yaki, and Saya player alone will just eat them alive.
When in the freaking crap are they going to play London?
Back half of the season, probably.
It's got to be.
You know what? I think, do they play them on the London homestand?
Because they don't play them on their homestand.
Yeah, they must play them in London. For Houston, I think what they need to do is stop being so rigid.
Yeah.
Just stop being rigid. Be fluid. You know, some of these other teams, they would have never... That one of their DPS would have never done what Carpe did.
Right.
They would have just kept ramming in with McCree and dying. And he's like, fuck this, I'm going Widow, and I'm going to try and win this. Regardless of what anyone thinks, this is our best chance.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to go off the script. And these guys are good enough to be and adaptable enough that they can do that. They just need to do it. And I want to see them do that against Boston. Because if not, even if they beat them, I have no hope.
Yeah.
Next game. Now, this is the interesting one.
This is a game where we really kind of figure out what these two where these two teams are, and if they're about even if one is better than the other.
Yeah, because I kind of think they're in the same realm.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm looking at both of these teams as like right dead smack in the middle.
Yeah,
like between 9 to 11.
Yeah, and
where I feel like both of these teams are.
And Hanbin is eligible this week for Paris.
Yeah.
So we'll see that because they didn't play terrible without him.
No, they really didn't.
They were a little handcuffed because I believe Smex couldn't get into the country. Mm-hmm. So they had to do that by default. They had to do double maintaining. They still look pretty good. Washington looked good last weekend. One game was against Houston. You can't really judge because that was just a shit show. They played decently enough against Philly, but some of the things I watch, and I'm working on something, guys. I'm going to throw on the Patreon page. One of the things that Washington does is they do a kind of this. It's kind of what Philly does and some other teams do. London used to do with Profit a little bit. They split 5-1. So they take 5 guys and they go towards the point. And what they do is they leave Corey to do Corey things. They're like, we want you to do the deadlift.
Get some free picks.
Yeah.
Get some picks on some squishies.
And they take advantage of bad teams. Yeah. They take advantage of bad teams with that.
They take advantage of bad positioning. Just
like
transitioning in your positioning and all of that kind of stuff.
And the way they rotate, like I was watching Kings Row against Houston and then conversely against Philly. So what they did against Houston was they tried 2 different approaches. They tried to go in through the hotel on the left on Kings Row first point. And what they did was he'd split off with Elevote. And they got absolutely destroyed going that way. They kept Elevote to peel with them, which is different than what they usually do. The plan is to get the 5 main bulkier team, the two tanks, the May, and the supports. Well, kind of 5. Arc just kind of rides around and does Lucio things. But whatever's necessary, speed boosting and stuff like that. And he kind of bounces around. He looks for their McCree or Widow and kind of tries to harass them and keep them out of the business. Mm-hmm. And what happened was Corey and the other plan is to go up on the right side and go all the way through the building and pick one of the windows to shoot out of. Well, Stratus is kind of distracting him. Roar's doing some work down there. He's picking people off. They're not even paying attention to him because Stratus is ice blocking and walling things off and doing all kinds of stuff, and Roar's in there just swinging away, and it's just this major distraction while he's just clicking heads. Now Philly, Washington's favor a little bit, but Philadelphia's too good with the rest of their team, better than Houston, the way they were working, that they just took care of business, and they just kept Corey distracted and just destroyed him. Now, it all hinges upon Hanbin playing.
Right.
And, the map pool and all that. See, because they work some weird stuff. Now, Eggsy is just as good as... Well, maybe not just as good yet, but he plays a really good DPS. And you still got Soon, who didn't see any action last week, too, who's a good hit scan. I see this one...
I really don't know what to think of this game at this point. I think I'll have my final vote in the pick episode.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
This is going to be. I'm leaning more towards Washington, but every time I picked against Paris, it has not gone my way. So it's tough to really pick against them either. So
well, you took Toronto.
We'll see.
You had Toronto last week.
I did, yeah, true.
That was close, though. Closer than the score, kind of. At least I thought so after watching it again.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much Saturday. Paris has got bigger upside than I thought. Same thing with Washington. These teams are not where I thought they were going to be. They also could fall back, too, once we watch some of the other teams that haven't played yet. We haven't seen any of the Chinese teams, Seoul, Atlanta.
Yeah, I still can't believe, even with this was just how it was scheduled with Atlanta. Like the fact that we haven't seen them at all.
Like he couldn't have,
and they're not even like on the, like, I understand with the Chinese teams and like all the teams that would have been playing in the Chinese homestands, like not having seen them, but like, how are you going to go?
Not even one game in the first 3 weeks.
5 weeks or 4 weeks? Is it next week that we finally get Atlanta? Yeah. Yeah, they have 2 games next week in Houston.
I was going to say maybe they have.
But the first 3 weeks you don't play a single game. And then, like, so they have literally 1 game or 2 games where they will play before hero bats come in.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Which is going to be hard.
Yeah.
It kind of, do we fuck with this meta? But they've also had 3 weeks to watch what everybody else is playing and kind of setting up what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that pretty much takes care of Saturday. I mean, Sunday we have New York, Houston. I mean, you could watch the bloodbath, but I keep saying this is one of those fucked up spots that every year Houston does this.
They do.
They just come out of nowhere and beat somebody, and their fan base goes bazonkers, and then, you know, they will have to lose to Boston, though, on Saturday to lose all hope first.
Yes, they have to lose all hope before they can, like, because they have to win big games that are meaningless at that point.
Yeah.
Like that's the way of Houston, basically.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, exactly.
But I honestly, that's the sad thing is I honestly would not be shocked if that's how it plays out, where we get a game where they lose to Boston in like embarrassing fashion, but then they come out and they trounce New York.
They get absolutely fucking mega clapped on Saturday, and they beat New York 3-1 or something.
Yeah. That would be the most Houston thing possible.
Oh, yeah. The next game, though, this is going to be one of those, where's Toronto?
Yeah.
Their lone game for the week. Now, Toronto's had 2 games in 3 weeks, which, honestly, that's not terrible. If I was Atlanta, I'd be like, couldn't we have done that?
Right. Like, at least give us 1 game. I mean, look at San Francisco. They played 1 game week 1. And I don't think they play again until week 5.
I think they were one of the teams on the swing.
Yeah, they play again in week 5 when they go to Seoul.
Right, and then they probably end up staying there and playing 4 games in a. Well, because of the other canceled stuff.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, they might have been on one of the other Chinese homestands.
Yeah, or 2 of them or something, because I think they were running them on a swing.
Yeah, something like that.
They might have went to 2, like one of the Chinese homestands or 2 of them, and to Seoul. Because the schedule's down now, so I don't even know what the hell they were supposed to play.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
This game's going to be interesting. I want to see what is going to happen with Toronto going up against a team that's a level better than Paris.
Yes. I think this will give us a better idea of where Toronto's at. Fortunately, I think it's going to be bad news for Toronto in that we kind of figure out that they might not be... They're not as good as I hope they are.
Yeah, but the thing is they could get the old school from a couple of years, like season 1. They're the second game, not the bigger game. Are they going to be prepared for them? Which this could be one of those cases where you run Fury, or you run, you split those guys up. You run a couple of different scenarios. So you have one team working on seeing what Toronto did because you have film now.
Yes,
you know what these guys do. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Philly's by far the better team. Doesn't mean they're going to win though.
Right.
That's in my mind, at least, they're the better team. I have bigger hopes for Toronto. I think they came out better than I thought they were going to. Beast looked good. That was the one thing. Beast looked good. But see,
I do think Toronto, but I think this might be one of those games where Toronto doesn't look great, but it will be a good learning game, and they will come back and be better.
Yeah, it's one of those, okay, we can hang with and beat the mid-table teams.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not quite on the Philly Gladiators and above level yet.
Right. Exactly.
And then we'll see if Beast ruins the redemption arc of Sato.
Yeah.
And look,
that really is Toronto's best chance. Is if Beast can outplay Sato.
Yeah, I mean,
that gives them a much better chance. They still have to contend with Carpe. That's a tough challenge for any team.
Yeah.
Even like I think that's something
He's that guy in any sport.
Really is.
You know, like even in basketball, you go to this team matches up like back when the Cavs were good. So they match up, all right, this guy's about as good as Kyrie, but the Cavs got LeBron.
Match up with LeBron, right.
You can't count that dude out.
Right. Even though he's been on like consistently terrible teams, I kind of almost look at him like Mike Trout. Like, he's going to come out and he's going to get his. You just have to limit what everybody else is doing.
And just be rest assured, he could be sleeping for 3 quarters and then all of a sudden go the fuck off.
Right.
Much like he did on Nepal.
Exactly.
And then you're going, now he's not going to miss a shot. Okay. He missed like that whole foray when he was on there on the point. He missed 2 shots and then he got the 2 biggest ones that he could get. He took out the May and the Lucio. Okay, game over. And then he took the Diva out.
Ridiculous.
Did you see that part?
Yeah.
When he, like, okay, just for fun, I'm going to shoot the baby Diva.
Insane.
Yeah.
Just because I can.
Yeah, and that's what you got to work against. But Surefour can do that if given the opportunity.
Yes. Not
quite on Carpe level, but he can do some work. I'm the biggest Sato apologist right now, and I know everybody's doing it's false. You know what? Here's the thing. Much like every other good tank, his supports are keeping him alive.
Yes.
There's a reason why Fisher is the god. Mm-hmm. It's not because he goes in there and he has the resources thrown at him.
It's that, but he's also, I mean, in the case of Fisher, he is really good at calculated risks.
Right.
I think the biggest difference is just in general, I think Philly has gotten significantly better supports.
Yeah.
As much as I like Boombox and Neptuno, Alarm and Aim God is just such a massive upgrade for this team. Wait, not Aim God. Or is it Aim God?
Funny Astro.
Astro.
Yeah.
Thinking of a different team.
Yeah.
Washington. Getting Washington. Getting Alarm and Funny Astro, I think, just elevates this team so much more. And
one of the things that helps is those guys were goats. They played a lot of goats. So what do you do in goats? You keep the tanks alive.
Exactly.
Yeah, Carpe's not getting resources, but he's flanking
Carpe's
a lot.
Smart enough that he doesn't really need that many resources. But they're smart because they give Carpe the resources when they need to.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, when they need to nano boost him, he gets it. I mean, they're looking to make sure he's alive and keeping him up and all that stuff and giving him resources. But they know that if Sato's dead, the fight's over. They're very, very good with how they manage their resources, especially with Sato.
Exactly.
And, compared to some of the other teams, the way they distribute them. And I think that's one of the reasons why he looks better is he's not getting hung out to dry.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 2 guys dumping every resource in a Carpe to make sure he's alive.
Exactly.
Because Fraggy used to die a lot too, guys, lest we forget.
Yeah.
God, do I need to buy a Sato jersey?
Oh god! All right, so
last match
let's move
of the
on
day,
to the
or the
last
weekend.
match. Yeah.
Washington should clean this one up.
Yes, absolutely.
I did not. I had some hopes for London. I did not like anything I saw. Glister was lackluster at best. The Bernard was about the best thing they had at off tank, and they're failing everywhere else. Granted, they did play New York one match. They took a map, I guess, but
Yeah.
they got absolutely curb stomped in the next game by Paris. So yeah, that's just it should be ugly,
England is
especially
just bad.
Washington's
This is
at
gonna
home.
be Washington's at home. They're going to be out for blood.
It does matter too.
I agree. They want to get the win for the home crowd. It's the last game of the week. I just think, and then just overall, like they just have so much more known talent.
Yeah, like Corey's going to rape them.
I do think that London will eventually be good.
Yeah.
And there will be guys that are currently on this team that will be really good players in this league. I just think that they're just too raw.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to say it.
Looking at a team like Washington, they just have more seasoned players who have been in the league, who just know how this all works, and it's just going to be, they're just better, flat out.
Yeah, and I think Roar is just going to own not Bernard. What the hell's his name? J-Mac. I just think he's just going to own that, and that's going to start the whole ball rolling. Elevote's better than I thought he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I think him and Bernard are going to be a decent. I want to see how that goes. But other than that, Paris or Washington is just way better. Corey's going to rape them.
Yeah.
Stratus is going to do Stratus things. Take his shoes off and, flip his hair and wear sunglasses and all that kind of stuff, which is fun. And he'll get that crowd whipped up big time.
Definitely.
But yeah, so that's going to do it for our Week 2 preview. Don't forget to check out our, on Saturday morning, we will have our picks up with the odds and, straight up who we like. Everyone on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Anyone that's listening in podcast land, thank you very much. Please hit a review. That would be great. We do appreciate all the support you guys have given us, and it's greatly appreciated. Also, check out our Patreon page. The link's down below. We got some stuff that we started putting up. I put up an outtakes video on there, like with us just talking about random things. But there's more stuff coming. We have a couple tiers for as little as $1 a month. Helps us out. We will see you guys on Saturday, and then, of course, Sunday night for the Batcat. We will talk to you later.